Well, we're talking about the story here on Newsmax, and the plot thickens this morning in the Hunter Biden New York Post story. Joining us now to discuss it all, Amy Kramer, chairperson for Women for America and co-founder of Women for Trump. And we welcome in our panel of the day, Jack Kingston, Trump 2020 campaign surrogate, and Republican strategist Bobby Eberle. Okay, good morning to everyone here. Amy, good morning to you. Amy, we'll start with you. Really, there are two stories here. We've got the allegations about Hunter Biden's business dealings abroad. And then we also, of course, have the censorship we've been seeing from big tech companies. I would say take your pick, but they are pretty well intertwined. Amy, but first, you know, we can start with those emails again. This new reporting from the New York Post. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. That's what everybody's saying. But, you know, I have to say the censorship from Twitter and Facebook on this blew the story up way bigger than I think it would have been. And I also think it's very telling that they've tried to suppress the story. That makes you think that it really must be true, because their narrative doesn't add up, you know, that it's fake news, that sort of thing. But they go and let the stuff about President Trump's tax records go that were obtained illegally go all over Twitter, all over social media. But then they try to shut this down. It's very telling. And, you know, it's all coming out. And I honestly believe that this should disqualify Joe Biden from ever holding public office again. Obviously, he did it. Hunter Biden, he was not paid because of his qualifications. He was paid for access. And that's the bottom line. And the American people, I don't think will like that at all.
I want to just read out this tweet from Josh Hawley just coming out 2 minutes ago, the Missouri senator, saying he's pleased to announce the full Judiciary Committee will vote on a subpoena to Twitter and Jack on Tuesday. And that should also include Facebook. Jack, you know, you having served in Congress as well, do you think we could actually see some accountability here for these big tech giants and the power that they yield over what Americans can and cannot access on their platforms?
You know, I think that they have proven themselves to be very capable of navigating political criticism and the waters of political politics, you know, the partisanship, excuse me. But I do think that the public shaming, that's a different factor. And that's something that I think if Ron Johnson holds hearings and they're done in a really good, meticulous way, not stretched out forever, because this is pretty straightforward. But if they are done in a good way, I don't see how the Democrats can defend Twitter or any kind of censorship like this. And this is blatant. And I think also people like Josh Hawley have probably hundreds of pages of other examples that were minor that did not make the headline news like this. But I agree that this story probably would have been maybe, you know, 48-hour news cycle, except for the censorship of it. And now this has confirmed what all of us conservatives have always suspected and believed. And so I think it's kind of it's good for the Trump campaign, but I think more importantly, it unifies conservatives and swing voters and some Democrats and certainly libertarians. That the high-tech folks have too much power, and it's time to decide, are they publishers or are they a platform?
Yeah, it's got a lot of people talking about that specific topic. Again, it seems like we took a little break from it, but now we're back. They brought that to the spotlight. Speaking of spotlight, Bobby, you know, only a handful of media outlets really reported on the initial story of the New York Post. If you were watching mainstream channels, you might not have even heard about these allegations regarding Hunter Biden and his business dealings. You know, your thoughts on this selective reporting that we're seeing play out in real time?
Well, it's crazy. I mean, I got to admit, I'm a little disappointed I don't get to comment on the cowboy pugs. I really wanted to comment on that. But this story is blowing up. And as your guests have said, how much energy would have it had without for the censorship? Because this is a big deal. This is an advisor to the Burisma board saying, hey, Hunter, give us some meetings, use your influence, get us together. Who are they talking about? Joe Biden, the sitting vice president, the point person for Ukraine. This is who they want to meet with. This is a huge story. This is corruption. This is collusion. This is pay for play. Exactly what they tried to pin on President Trump, it's actually going on. And these emails are documented. It's a sourced story unlike the New York Times. And as your guest pointed out, President Trump's Twitter account is now blocked. And Twitter's message is saying that because President Trump shared private information talking about the Bidens. Well, the New York Times illegally obtained tax records, supposedly, and whether the information they put out was true or false as to the amounts, that's private information. They're sharing private information with no repercussions at all. That's the excuse they give to President Trump, and this story is being blocked and banned. Yeah. It's outrageous, and we see it happening, and this is going to give new life to the allegations. People are going to look into this now, saying, why is Facebook doing this? Why is Twitter doing this? Maybe they are in with the Democrats. Let's look at the story.
Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.